Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Lean Publishing tip of the day, where we're going to be talking about something that might seem small or might seem big to different people, depending on who you are, which is choosing a URL for your book's landing page on Leanpub. Just as usual, for the first minute, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping. You can find all these videos recorded forever on our YouTube channel at Leanpub. We really hope you'll like and subscribe there if you like what you're seeing, and that you'll, look for the playlist for the Lean Publishing tip of the day there. You can also find an accompanying blog post for each of these videos on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. If you don't see the blog post there on the front page of the blog, just click this handy little magnifying glass here and search for the keywords, and you'll find the article there. One of the reasons there's an article is because some people prefer reading to watching videos, but also other helpful links in these blog posts to things relevant to the topic of the day. You can also sign up using the button at the top of the blog post for the Lean Publishing Daily newsletter. If you sign up for this newsletter, you'll get these Lean Publishing tips of the day in your inbox every weekday. You'll just have to scroll down past all the really awesome deals on Leanpub ebooks and bundles and courses that you'll find in every Lean Publishing Daily newsletter email. So let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about picking a URL for your book. When you create a book on Leanpub, you automatically right away and for free get a landing page or a web page for your book. Let me just show you a little bit about how this works. If you go to the Leanpub Create a Book page, so leanpub.com/create/book, and I'm just going to type in a nonsense title here just to show you how this works. But if you just type in something nonsense, we'll automatically suggest a URL for you based on what you've typed in. If you type in a space and more than one word, it'll take out the space and just suggest a URL, putting those words together. You can then change this here to be anything else that you want. And then you go through the rest of the process creating book by choosing your writing mode and things like that and creating the book. Now this URL is what people are going to see in the address bar when they go to the web page for your book on Leanpub. It's what they're going to the link that they click on. This is what the link is going to be. And it's going to be there in every address or every coupon link that you create and things like that. Let me just show you a Leanpub book. Let's go to the home page. Share this tab instead. Here's a brand new release in German called IT Freelancing. The book is IT Freelancing 2.0, so the author has chosen the rather good URL IT Freelancing 2. If we look at other books, let's say Pete Zerger's CISSP The Last Mile, you can see he's got CISSP Last Mile, not The Last Mile. You can check out Chu Singh's book. He's got GIS Pro. You can see that kind of in the title here, and it's probably something that people who are familiar with the technology would all know and get anyway. In fact, let's just check this here. I think that might be GIS WQS is his handle on Twitter or X. But you can see that basically there's lots of different ways you can go about. Oh, here we are on Twitter. There he is. You can see GIS is in his Twitter handle. So yeah, you can see that there's lots of different ways you can go about picking a URL and lots of different things you can pick from. When you pick a URL, when you create your book, like basically everything on Leanpub, you can actually change it later if you want to. So if you want to change your URL, that's okay. Now, this is a little bit of a tricky thing because we don't want people kind of, sitting on top of URLs for too long and stuff like that, or claiming too many for themselves. So what you'll be, if you're sort of know about this kind of stuff, what you'll be thinking is, oh, what happens to my old URL if I change the URL? So, and basically, does Leanpub redirect? So if someone clicks the old link, will they go to the new link? The answer is, if your book was published under the old URL and you had a sale, at least one sale, then we will redirect from the old URL to the new URL. So if you've been promoting your book elsewhere on your blog and ads, etc., the old URL will point to the new URL. I don't know actually, like offhand, if there's some kind of limit to how many times you can change it and stuff like that. If someone started to take advantage of this system, we would obviously put something like that in place. So don't take advantage of it. Not just because we'll sort of, get mad at you, and because it would be irresponsible and unprofessional, but also because you just don't want to be changing your URL all the time. You typically, what you want to do is pick one and stick with it. You can change it again, before you publish your book. We won't redirect from the old one to the new one in that case. Or if you've published your book and you have no sales, we won't redirect. So if you're doing some kind of like pre-launch ad buying for your book marketing campaign and stuff like that, what you really want to do is just settle on a URL for your book before you go out buying ads and doing kind of promotions and stuff like that. Let me just go back to the main blog post for this. As I explain here in the blog post, it used to be that choosing URLs was super important. Entire billion-dollar businesses like IPO'd because they had the right .com web address. This just isn't really the case so much anymore. You really don't need to worry too much or think too hard, in my opinion, about what your book's URL is. It's going to be on leanpub.com. And then what you're actually picking is the URL slug. So it's going to be whatever comes up, what comes after this is all that you're picking. So what you want to do is, what we recommend is you pick something short, relevant, and memorable. In the old days, it was the case that you might see an ad on TV, go to, pets.com or something like that, and you'd go to your keyboard and like type in a URL. People are probably not going to be typing in the URL for your book. What they're probably going to do is do what I did before. Let's share this tab. They're going to go to Leanpub and they're going to search here. Well, I didn't search. I went to the books tab, but the books page, what they're going to do is they're going to search here. They're going to be, I want Chu Sing's book. They're going to search for, GIS, and then they're going to find the book that way. In fact, if I recall correctly, by default, as a personal note, I deeply disagree with this, but I believe that there are web browsers that are actually hiding addresses by default. They might just show you, I think it might be Safari would just show you by default, like leanpub.com, and it wouldn't actually show you this at all. It's been a long time since I've read or talked to anybody about this, but there's sort of deep things about like deep linking and are you going to a place on the web or are you going to a place in an app? Should you care as a sort of, user? Personally, I'm very much in favor of knowing where you are and having addresses for everything. There's all kinds of reasons for that. But again, the main thing is don't worry about it too much. Pick something short and relevant and memorable. You also, I think this is in terms of service, but you don't want to pick like brand names and stuff like that. We want to be a little bit careful about that. If you do kind of look like you're parking on some kind of brand name or category name or something like that, we might, get in touch with you or even just unilaterally kind of change it for you. So pick something unique, memorable, relevant to your book title. That actually is kind of important. I mean, it would, just because it would look weird if the URL slug didn't have anything to do with your book. For example, you don't want to put your Twitter handle or your X handle or something like that to be the whole kind of slug, like part, like we showed with choosing. GIS is an important kind of acronym in that world, but you want the URL to be short, relevant, and memorable, and crucially, you just don't want to worry about it all that much. And again, it's a kind of safe decision. You can change it any time. If you have sales, it will redirect from the old one to the new one. Please don't abuse that privilege. Yeah, let me just stop sharing here. So yeah, really pretty short one today. Picking a URL is really easy. We suggest one for you based on the title that you type in when you create a book, or of course, an online course or a bundle, or a track of courses. Make it short and memorable. Don't worry too much about it, or if someone else got the great URL or something like that. Most people are going to be discovering your book by seeing it in newsletters, seeing it in new releases, seeing it in bestsellers. They're going to discover it by searching for it in the Leanpub bookstore. They're going to discover it with links that they just kind of click on the web or in apps or whatever. They're not really going to care too much about what your URL is. The only way they might people might get kind of angry or unhappy is if it's too long. You just don't pick a URL that's too long. That can just get annoying to people who are sharing it online and stuff like that. So These lean publishing tips of the day can be found on our blog at leanpub.com/blog in written format. And you can also find the videos recorded for posterity on our YouTube channel at Leanpub under the playlist Lean Publishing Tip of the Day. If you're interested in learning a little bit about self-publishing every weekday, maybe on your lunch break or maybe in the evening, wherever you are in the world, we hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel. On that YouTube channel at Leanpub, you'll find a lot more than the Lean Publishing Tip of the Day. You'll also find new release videos, and you'll find book and course launch videos, which are pretty short, typically, as well as much longer Leanpub podcast interviews with authors, which are long-form interviews with authors for experts basically writing on subjects, whatever they're expert in, from all around the world on all kinds of topics. It's a really great podcast. I love recording it, and I love talking to authors all the time. So check out our YouTube channel at Leanpub. Subscribe on the if you find the button for the Lean Publishing Daily Newsletter on the blog post or on our homepage at the banner at the top. And thanks very much, everyone, for watching this live stream today.